And Fanboy Modeling School is alive. The show starts in just a few minutes, folks. Fanboy Modeling School. welcome to Fan Boy Modeling School. I am, of course, I'm the Fat Mantis in HD, and I'm here with my brother.
Steve, real name, no gimmicks. How y'all doing this evening?
How is everybody doing this fine, beautiful Monday? What do we have
Yes,
here? What do we
yes.
have? We've got RM saying face red shaped hat, droopy eye cat. I think those are emojis
Yes.
or insults in foreign languages. Whatever it is, RM, thank you. We support you and love you. Rebuke TV, what up? Greetings. We've got Saber Light Knights in the house. Hope you guys are still fighting and still cutting motherfuckers up with those lightsabers.
Oh
That's
no, you already broke YouTube's new terms of services. No
what?
cursing in videos
At all?
at all.
No.
Yes.
What?
Oh no, that's been the response lately. But continue. People have been
Showing love
trying
on
not to.
all accounts, says Shaolin. Oh, we love you, brother. I hope you're spreading that word. Rogue Radio said just in time. Thank you for stopping in. We are all loving that you guys are here. We can only do this through your support here. Fight Juice online, of course. My man Hold Up TV and me, the Fat Mantis. We have our own YouTube channels and we have our own Twitch channels, and the links are down in the description. I hope you guys are all having a good one. But we ask that you like this video, subscribe to this channel, keep supporting us wherever you see us. We'd love to have you aboard.
Hey, that was a good rollout. That was a good rollout.
I'm psyched. I've been taking apart computers and re-putting them together all day long. Now it's time to talk some bullshit.
Well, I mean, it is Monday. It is Monday, man, and I had the pleasure. I am on vacation, as you know, right? And I had the pleasure of going to see a certain movie today.
Wait, what movie would that be?
I went to go see Ant-Man.
Oh,
Quantumania.
Okay, I guess we're gonna have to have it out tonight.
You know what's crazy? All right, well, let's start here, right? I gave the movie a 6.
Okay, I respect that answer. That's a respectful answer. Now, Princess Beck says, of course, hashtag fangirls for fanboys, which I'm loving.
Right.
And here's what it is. I think I assumed something horrible about you.
About what?
You.
What was that?
And I assumed that because you're usually a Marvel show,
oh boy,
that you were gonna love it.
Now I want you to know that Mantis has a very broad definition for the word "show," but I can surmise it really quickly. It's anyone that has a differing view on any property that he dislikes.
That is nonsense, bro. Here's what I'm saying. I'm glad you didn't like it because, in my personal opinion, or here's what I'm saying. I'm glad you didn't love it.
Right.
Because I kind of like. I didn't like it as a movie, no, but there are parts and things I liked about it. But I don't think there's anything to actually love about it.
No, and I would agree with that, man. So obviously, looking at it, I went to go see it with my oldest son. So watching the movie with my kids is going to be a different experience because he's absolutely loving the movie, right? But he's 8. He's supposed to love the movie. There were things that really worked well in the movie that I enjoyed. Kang being chief among them, because I'm not a Kang fan from the comics. Like I always found him to be a completely useless character that Marvel has always tried to make me care about, and I'm just like, I don't care about this guy. But I gotta say, Majors as Kang was awesome. I could have thought of a different role for him in the MCU or even in the Fox Marvel properties. Like he would have made a perfect Thanos. I'm not Thanos, a perfect Apocalypse in the X-Men universe. He would have been perfect to voice that character.
Yeah. I don't know why they're going so hard on Kang. I could see Kang being the villain of like an Avengers movie.
Right.
Like the fact that they're planning on like going the long haul with this. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
even the most intimidating Kang, at the end of the day, is just Kang. Right?
That's been my point to you this entire time, man. And you've been kanging it up, man. You've been kanged out. You were trying to convince me how much more deadly of a threat he is than Thanos. And I'm like, I get it. He's just times like faring.
No, I never thought he was more deadly. I just thought that here's what it is. I actually thought Jonathan Majors' portrayal of him would turn Kang into like an intimidating devil. And he made him as intimidating as Kang can be.
Yeah.
But still, he's not a multi-movie level villain.
But here's what he is. He is a threat. He is a real threat, according to the the way you would look at threats in Marvel comics and like the MCU. But let's start with this, man. Did you have any honorable mentions that you wanted to bring up tonight? Anything before we get into the full-on non-spoiler review of this movie?
I want to put some love out there, and basically prayers, because there's nothing else I can do for them. The people of Turkey,
Okay,
that
yes.
earthquake,
Right.
and apparently all these buildings were made shoddily,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
just came down like nothing. Yeah,
Right.
and they're arresting the guys who build them, like the slumlords who ran them.
As they should.
It's horrible, but I'm hearing all these wonderful heroic stories. Like a baby is down there for like a week and a half, and they pull the baby out, and the baby's alive. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Man.
God bless them. I hope they rebuild. Honestly, I get into this argument a lot. I'm starting to get political. I would rather our money that's going to the Ukraine go to like helping Turkey or something.
Mm.
But
okay,
that's me. But that's my honorable mention right there.
So I should stay off the internet. I am a sensitive lad now. Pet owner, father, husband, and man. You know how you just scroll through the internet sometimes and you see something that you just can't unsee. I see these dogs on this kind of elevated thing above some water, right? And everyone's screaming because now it's starting to slide through into the water. And then there's an alligator waiting for one of the dogs to slide. And the video, he catches the dog and the video cuts off. And I have not been, so of course, like an idiot, I went and looked up the full video, and it's as bad as you think it can be. But what's really horrible about it is that someone recorded it. And at there was a moment when the dog looked up at what I assume was his owner, like, please save me. And I grabbed my dog and I said to her, I'm going in the water to save you, Marvel. 100%. I'm jumping on the alligator's back. I'm not letting that thing take my dog. It can take me. I've lived a wretched life. But Marvel's so cute.
He says, I am a wretch of a man, but I am redeemable because I love my dog. I sure as fuck would not film my dog going into a gator's mouth, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And that's my honorable mention, man. But also I just want to get into real quick, man. We got some other stuff going on in the peripheral, man. Andrew Tate may or may not have been set up. It looks like
I've heard that. I have heard
I can't really get to the bottom of how true this is, but I guess there's some tapes, some audio recordings of some young ladies admitting to lining him up or plotting on lining him up. If you can find anything factual, send that out. Obviously, all the Tate fans are ecstatic about this. He's bringing a class action lawsuit against the woman who accused him of rape and a sum of $300 million, a defamation case. Basically saying you've said untrue things about me and you've said them to the press, and this has impacted me negatively. So yeah, and she is not a public figure. So unlike our debate about defamation the first time, she does not get that privilege of being a public figure and you having to prove it.
Yeah, I
if it's true, if she falsely
either way, if he was framed or if he was, or the cops just didn't like him and bring him down, or he was guilty. None of them would surprise me. The only thing we have to go by is what he says Romanian justice is, and apparently it's not a thing. Like, there's no justice system there. So even though there's evidence that he could be framed, he could still go to jail.
Oh, absolutely. They have the weirdest legal system in regards to, so they're going to come to terms on whether or not he's going to be in prison for another 30 days. I think it's coming up. He actually recently got new representation to help him deal with all this stuff. So, there it is. Andrew Tate still locked up under Dracula's castle in Romania.
Who knows what he's seeing down there?
It's like the castle from Castlevania.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, he is like, vampires are feasting off of him every night.
Yeah, they're letting him right now.
Lainey says, well, I wish Andrew Tate everything he deserves.
That was RM.
RM. Shaolin says, Tate is hated. I couldn't be shocked if he was said. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
No, it wouldn't surprise me. None of the possibilities would surprise me. But what are you going to say? You look like you're deep in thought.
Oh no, I was just thinking about other news things. If anything is really worthy about talking about, there's like a lot of small things. People pissed at Biden for going to the Ukraine instead of Ohio. Of course, there's everything going on in Ohio. There's a lot of people who need praying for. Let's put it like that.
Bro, your guy, Den of Nerds, filmed that event live. Lives very close to where the whole incident went down. So prayers to everyone there and prayers to Den of Nerds. Oh man, this was another one. I forget the young lady's name, but she's a part of Geeks and Gamers, like peripherally. And she's a content creator, slim young lady with curly black hair. But she was on YouTube the other day talking about being stalked, like having a genuine stalker.
Melanie Mac.
Yes.
Her channel is called Melanie Mac Go Boom.
Yeah.
And before anyone, here's what I hate. If a lot of people are like, she's a fake gamer. If you watch her videos, she is the most real gamer I've ever seen. There are times that I'm like watching her go on a rant, and I'm like, okay, shut up. You're being too dorky right now. But yeah, apparently she was stalked, right?
Yeah, she was being stalked and taking legal action. She had made a couple of videos about it, and I caught the one that says this is my last video addressing the stalker, and she was just going through Jeremy from Geeks and Gamer helped set up some kind of crowdfunding for legal fees, and she was like, I didn't expect them to do that. I won't take any more money than the actual legal fees are. She's like, I don't know how much it's going to cost. So obviously she's obtained legal representation and all the things you should do if you're being stalked. If someone is harassing you, whether it's over the internet or in the real world, definitely get that class action, get that restraining order going. Like quick, fast, and hurry.
It's tough because certain aspects of the law are not designed to protect people.
Right.
Like there's a lot of aspects of the law that are there to protect people, but if a cunning criminal will know how to take advantage, and a lot of stalkers do that. They take advantage of the system, what a requirement for a stalker law is. I think I told you once I had a stalker, a very minor stalker. This is when I was just working at my job. I was working a day job. I'll say it was Target.
Okay.
I worked in guest services, right?
Right.
And you know how the dollar bin, how there's like a dollar shelves?
Yeah.
It's in front of guest services. And so this girl would come in and spend hours just walking around it.
Yeah.
And I got security, and I was like, yo, she's just staring at me and doing anything and standing there. And they're like, well, she hasn't harassed you. There's nothing we could do. And I was like, this biatch knew her Target rules, apparently. She knew she could get away with that.
They usually do. They usually do. They know how to hunt it. They know how to hunt these skeevy scumbaggies. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of skeevy scumbaggies, all right, let's jump right back into this. So, was Scott Lang, was the Ant-Man property strong enough to carry the weight of the beginning of Phase 5? No. In my opinion, no, it wasn't. Not the movie I would have launched with. But, they had to get it out there. I'm sure at some point there's that evaluation of diminishing returns. And Kevin Feige probably was like, we got to release this, right? We got to release this. We got to get it out there. And we just got to take the lumps. I'm just going to go through things I disliked strongly about the movie. MODOK. I hate the character in the comics, and I really hate him in this movie. Even though there was some great comedic moments regarding MODOK, and I'm not going to spoil anything there, but I didn't like it. It was giving me Deadpool vibes. It was giving me like Deadpool sense of humor with the baby legs, all that type of stuff. And it doesn't seem like something that Kang would have unleashed as his ultimate weapon.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was
utterly ridiculous. What I did enjoy the family aspect of this movie. It was not the way that YouTuber X had to, theorized that it was going to go, that it was going to be like this divide between the two family, Scott Lang and his daughter versus Hank Pym and his wife and daughter. It was actually one cohesive family unit, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. And I enjoyed that part. What I didn't like, why was Wasp even in this movie?
So here's I'm sorry, it is your turn. I'll let you go. I mean, can
No, I go for it, man.
So the thing that pisses me off is, so they add the daughter.
Yeah.
And so they now have a huge cast of a family. And then when they get into the story, they add a bunch of rebels and their issues and people the mom was boning back in the day.
Yeah.
And all these other people are having, and I'm like, I don't care about any of these people. And I might have liked it better if it was just about the Ant family, but they shared the screen so much that almost no one had a lot of screen time. And you're right, the Wasp didn't do anything.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Ant-Man was barely in his own movie.
I wouldn't say barely, but yeah, he wasn't the focal point. They should have just called it the Ant Family. You know, that it really should have been some type of thing like Birds of Prey type of deal with the naming of it. I did enjoy. What's the guy's name that plays Scott Lang's character? I always forget.
Oh, Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. I enjoy Paul Rudd, man, and
He's a good guy, man. He's a good guy.
He can do no wrong in my mind, and I think he plays Scott Lang perfectly, man. And you know, there was some light joking in the opening of the movie and going through his life after the blip and all that stuff, and him reaching a certain level of fame. Really surprised there was no reference to Thanos at all in this movie, so that caught me off guard. Not even from Kang, and it seems like a little bit of a weak plot point. Like you would have think he would have addressed such a seismic event, but he doesn't. Not once, not at all in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm the bigger hater of between the two of us. And
Right.
there wasn't much of the film that I enjoyed at all.
Right.
So, yeah.
Would you grade it?
A 4.
I knew you were gonna say a 4. I knew you.
I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 10, guys. I'm really sorry. It was just a miss. It was total miss for me in every way. So the first thing your first point was like one of the best points ever. It's such an important thing. Can Paul Rudd, we love him, good guy, swell guy, is his Ant-Man portrayal enough to carry a trilogy, let alone an important trilogy that has like the main big bad in it?
Right.
And the answer is totally no. Total no, right? And so once again, he is a great character who's probably better in Avengers movies because like he's not the main guy and he should be on the side.
Right.
No offense to Paul Rudd, I love him and all that stuff. He's not a leading man. Let's face this. For an action movie, right?
Well, go ahead, continue. You're making some valid points there.
Also, just as a comic book purist, they have never made an attempt to ever, apparently since the first one and on, ever accurately depict anything about Ant-Man.
No, not at all.
Nothing is. They attempt nothing. And so at this point, like basically, if you're a fan of Ant-Man, which I am, you get angrier and angrier with every installment.
Right.
And so at this point, I'm just fuming, and I'm just like, just kill yourself. Just kill yourself. I probably can't sit that on YouTube either. Again.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Because yeah, you're right. Thinking about Hank Pym in the comics, Marvel comics proper, and even thinking about Hank Pym in the Ultimate series, he's very deep, complex, dark character. You know, led his wife to get eaten by the Blob in one universe, and then he made Ultron in the other. So
yeah, right.
Everything, and Scott Lang is such a blip in his story arc. But you're right; they have not represented it, even though they had Kirk Douglas in the movie, who I think makes a perfect Hank Pym. And I think he touched on it a lot in the first movie, how conceited Hank Pym is and self-righteous and stuff like that, but they never leaned into it, and they just leaned more into the Scott Lang story, which is fine, but I would have much preferred a young Hank Pym, right? And
yeah, I absolutely. And what I think their reasoning is that too many guys in the Marvel universe were scientists. They're like, the people have seen enough scientists, let's have something else. And the fact that the second Ant-Man, technically the third, but was Scott Lang, a thief, a professional thief.
Right.
He's more of a scumbag in the books, but whatever. That's not major. But I wish they had more Hank Pym flashbacks. In the first Ant-Man, I love the flashbacks of actually doing it in the 60s. I wish there was more of that.
I thought he was a great addition. Actually, man, when I saw the first one, it made me realize how much of a missed opportunity Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was, because they have all these cool stories that relate back to early S.H.I.E.L.D. and the onset of S.H.I.E.L.D. and its early operatives. And then it kind of makes me hate Captain Marvel a little bit more, or you know what I'm saying? Because it's like she's supposed to be the first superhero on that earth. But like clearly you had Hank Pym running around. Clearly you had Captain America.
Yeah, there had to have been other super agents out here and there. It's just it's insane. But I will say this: I want to address something about villain swapping.
Okay, go for it.
I cannot stand this about villain swapping. Multiple movies do this. They give in the MCU. They give a character's main villain a villain they don't normally fight.
Right.
And so I'll give you an example. Like Iron Man did not invent Ultron. He is
No.
an Ant-Man villain.
Yes.
But
Well,
then they gave
he's an Avengers villain.
it's an Avengers villain, but he started out as an Ant-Man villain.
Yeah.
And so, like, really, he belongs in at least his origins belong in an Ant-Man movie. And once they swapped him out, they were like, "Well, we don't have any really big bads for Ant-Man." And they gave the Ant-Man Kang, and Kang isn't an Ant-Man villain; he's a Fantastic Four villain. And they just keep swapping them out, and they're just messing everything up.
Yeah, and some of his early arcs, like definitely the first encounter is with the Fantastic Four, and then he has after his lady interest dies, and then he becomes a hater of the Avengers, and like really just leaning in on trying to kill them as well. But I agree with you, man. God, I want you to make your point because I'm going to talk about what my biggest sore point in this movie is, man.
I just think that I honestly think that Kang would have done better in a Fantastic Four movie or an Avengers movie. But in Ant-Man movie, it doesn't make sense why he's here. They didn't pull it off. I am enjoying Kang, don't get me wrong, and I'm enjoying his story, but it's misplaced. Actually, the even entire energy of this movie is unlike the other two Ant-Man movies, so it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't jive well.
He's not some dude who goes to magical worlds or whatever and does whatever, right?
So the crazy thing about it is, man, I love the flashbacks. I love, and I don't want to get out any spoilers, but the flashbacks of what's the mom's name? Kate Bishop, or what's her name?
She's Janet Van Dyne.
Janet Van Dyne. Sorry, Kate Bishop is somewhat entirely different. Janet Van Dyne. I love all the flashbacks with her, and anything to do with the flashbacks with Kane. I really, really do think Majors was a great pick for this, man. The issue is, I probably would have held off to see him in like Doctor Strange 4 or something like that, or even if they would have worked him into Multiverse of Madness, right? But you're right, he's too big for this movie. There are points where the movie feels so disjointed from the normal shenanigans. Where they land in the quantum realm. You got Bill Murray, you got talking goo, and then
Bill
it's
Murray
like
even doing in this movie,
and then you got
a useless character.
And then you got Kang. You have this very, very evil character, right? Just chilling with all these shenanigans. And I'm like, there's no way this character, as you described him, this megalomaniac, right, would let any of these people live. Resistance be damned. He would have killed everyone there, right? And I just thought he was too big for this movie. I would have much rather seen him in a movie with higher stakes.
Marvel has also have this is probably a spoiler complaint, so I'll try not to spoil it. Right. They have a streamlining problem. And so, for instance, the Bill Murray character, he has a certain plot, the backstory to his character. Listen, hear me out on this one.
I'm listening.
I think it should have been with Kang.
Oh, you think the love interest?
Yes.
Yeah, that would have made way more sense.
It would have made way more sense. And so here's an important part of writing any type of things. This is for drama or action or anything. Basically, fights are always better when they're personal.
Yep.
When a random villain comes at you, people want to see the action, but they're less invested. Now, however, if that same villain had previously, I don't know, killed your family or was your lover or screwed you over, the audience is more invested.
Yeah.
And there's nothing personal about Kang. I honestly think he should have been Janet Van Dyne's lover.
100%. Entirely missed opportunity.
Yeah,
entirely missed opportunity to shove some more comedic BS into the narrative, into the plot. And I thought we were past this phase. I thought they had received the message, but we got Bill Murray, who I love, and he played his character. He played his character to a T. And even I'm going to give him some shout outs for his acting chops, because when he had to switch it to be serious, when she asked him, "What happened to you? Why did you change?" He's like, "He happened to me." And he can be very persuasive. And I was like, oh, that was a cold line from Bill Murray. That was a cold line. But again, just more comedic nonsense. Let me ask you this question. One of YouTuber X's biggest gripes with this movie, or not bigger gripe, but a gripe that she had, was she felt like there was too much Stark tech in the movie. And I was like, I didn't see any Stark tech. I'm like, I'm like, if you're talking about the mask, they're like their masks generating over their faces.
I've hated that for years. That's been going on for a while. That's been happening since Infinity War. I hate it. But I mean, real Star Tech? Not really.
Yeah, right? I didn't see any Star Tech in here. Did you?
No. No.
So I was like, what did she see?
Yeah,
Let's
what
talk.
movie did she see? Because I agree, like, in Wakanda Forever, that kinda pissed me off,
What?
that they were giving Star Trek to just
Oh
soldiers.
yeah. Well, she made it. You know, Riri made
Right,
that
but
shit.
still, you're a superhero, you should keep that stuff to yourself.
Mantis is not sharing any resources in a Dungeons and Dragon campaign, folks. He's like, no. These are
Oh,
mine.
don't get me started, I've killed many a paladin trying to say we should share treasure. Fuck that shit. I'm sorry about the cursing, brother. I'm sorry about the cursing.
I don't care, man. We're having a good time. Yeah, thought Kane was too big, man. Thought he was too ominous for this movie. But you know what? He's the reason this movie got a 6 because he freaking worked Ant-Man in this movie. I haven't seen him beaten like that since Bane took it to Batman.
So all this other stuff, I gotta say that they make a point. They make a point to say throughout the Ant-Man series that he's bad at fisticuffs, and he never learns how to fight. Even by the
Right.
end of the second one, he wasn't really a fighter. At the end, he's going blow for blow with King, who clearly knows how to fight.
I wouldn't call that blow for blow. I would call that he land a punch
hanging
and
in there.
Well,
Kang the Conqueror should have beaten his ass.
No, King. Wait, I got to disagree with you there, brother. He did beat his ass, but hubris always comes before the fall. And instead of laying him out, he hit him with a 16-hit combo and then turned his back on him and started to talk to him. If you hit someone with that many punches, you might as well just finish the fight. And I got to give it to Jonathan Majors. You know, I'm huge on this, man. I love when actors have the physicality and the fight ability, right? When they can actually throw punches. He hit him with a hook, and I saw him turn over when he hit him in the rib, and I was like, that was a damn good punch. I'm believing that Ant-Man is getting his ass kicked right now.
Remember, he's going to be in Creed 3. He's going to be
I know. Yeah. Another movie I won't be watching.
Why?
It's just like, come on, man. It's 3 of them. I watch it when it comes to cable, man.
You don't like boxing movies?
I hate boxing movies, man. It's like it's the worst representation of boxing, right? It makes people believe that that's what fights are, and then they get beat up.
It's a sports movie. No sports movie ever accurately depicts sport. It's not about that. It's about winning.
That's not what
the American way. You don't believe in the American way?
That's not what sports movies are about. Sports movies are about social lubricant to make you believe that Michael B. Jordan is actually a heavyweight. No one's buying that. Have you seen what Tyson Fury looks like?
Michael B. Jordan's like, I've got an idea. I'm going to write, direct, and produce a movie where I am the world's greatest boxer. And he's going to punch a yes men being like, bravo, sir. That's amazing.
Good job. We love it.
Yeah,
man. Go ahead.
No. You go.
I was thinking, so like as we're talking about Ant-Man, I was like, I was doing fan casting when I was in the theater. Hey, by the way, got to see the movie for $22, $10 each for me, my son, and myself. Went to a $12.50 show. Perfect amount of money to pay for this movie. I only go see matinees now unless it's like a big flick. But I was doing some fan casting in my head because I'm watching how great Majors is in this movie that he is bigger than. And I'm like, man, who could have Majors also played in the MCU? And then it dawned on me, he would have been a perfect pick for T'Challa. Like a huge part of the narrative where some people didn't want T'Challa recasted. This is a very small subset of a bigger conversation, but there were some people, and I'm sure you heard this, they didn't want, remember they thought the guy from that one show that RM likes with the back in the, what is it, Victorian age, and
Bridgerton,
yeah.
Pretty boy.
Yeah, when the pretty boy was supposed to reportedly was going to be picked as T'Challa, people got mad because they were like, he's too light skinned. I was like, I could see how they would make an argument like that. Doesn't mean I agree with them. But you pick a guy like Majors, he would have been perfect for T'Challa, man. I'm like,
here's what I'm saying. Here's what it is. Even though here's what it is. I didn't like Wakanda Forever because there was no T'Challa.
Yeah.
However, I understand why they didn't, because as they said before, they were like, if we recast him, everyone in the world is going to compare him to the original T'Challa, and we'll never hear the end of it.
Right.
And so they were in a horrible situation where they were damned.
Bad spot.
I feel that.
I wish Chadwick, apparently his brother said that would have been Chadwick's wishes, but I wish he would have left some type of, but he was dying. So it's
he's got all those things on his mind.
death is not an inconvenience to me. That's not what I'm saying. But yeah, I think Jonathan Majors would have been great as T'Challa, but I did enjoy him as King. Now it's hard not to get into spoiler stuff because this movie has 2 post credits, right? The last one is lining up something that I'm really looking forward to, but again, I don't know if everyone's seen the movie, so I won't bring it up. And the first post credit scene, I thought that was interesting, right? Looked a little CGI squishy for me.
Wait, before you say anything further, you realize that how everyone complains that Marvel kills their villains too much?
Yeah.
Although Killmonger had an amazing death scene, I love what he says before he dies. It's like one of the best scenes ever. You realize that if they had not killed him, that could have solved all their problems.
100%.
If they didn't kill him, they could have just had him redeem himself in the second movie and become the new Black Panther, and everyone would have loved it.
Up until the point where I walked in the theater, was hoping that there was some arc where we find out that he's still alive in some way, shape, or form. And they were just like, and I rewatched that movie recently, and I didn't make it through the first 45 minutes.
Of the first Black Panther?
No, of the second Wakanda Forever. And I was just like, whew. Because now when I was looking at it with sober eyes and, outside of all the emotional stuff, I was like, yeah, man, Shuri, I love that actor, that actress, but everything hit a little less. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just the fight scene on the beach. I kept thinking how much better it would have been if it was T'Challa. The tension wasn't there between T'Challa and Namor, which is a huge part of their story arc. But again, we're talking about Ant-Man, and what did you think of the conclusion of the movie?
So the actual finale or the end credit scenes?
The actual finale.
So the actual finale was once again more garbled nonsense. Marvel. This is the thing that I cannot. This is the worst part of what they do at Marvel, man. Drives me nuts. I don't know who told Feige to do this. This drives me nuts. They always have the one-on-one fight scene,
mm-hmm.
and then they intercut with a giant war scene.
Right.
And they fabricate idiotic giant war scenes that normally shouldn't happen just to put them in Marvel movies. It makes literally no sense.
Yeah, I have to admit that charge was kind of ridiculous, and the feats accomplished. I was kind of annoyed by the daughter at one point, but then I was like, actually, she's kind of fun.
I don't like the daughter. You know what? She's just a bland actor. She's very bland. Mid. Queen of the Mid. Catherine Newton, if you're listening, I was about to say you're a beautiful actress. You're not even beautiful. You're very average looking. But you are a mid actress. You need to give us some spice, please. RM says Regé Jean Page.
Yes.
Jean. We need a multiverse T'Challa. That would be
most certainly we do. Again, so I gave it a 6. Nothing to write home about. It wasn't the worst movie. It doesn't. It's not as bad as Eternals, but it
definitely not. No, I think it is. I think people are making a point though when they're shitting on it online, and because I think they're tired of Marvel missing the mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, this movie, for instance, I'll give you an example. I thought this movie was going to go dark. It wasn't very dark.
No. It had the potential.
It had a lot of potential to be dark.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know what? I really do think the main darkness could have been achieved is if Janet Van Dyne had an affair with him, which would have made total sense. They were stranded there together. They're working in science together.
Science is kinky. It's kinky. The Bunsen burners start coming out. Things
later
happen.
on, it would have been cool if they questioned her loyalty and if she would made. That's another thing. There were no twists and turns.
No,
plot was
everything
very
was
basic. Nothing ever
very linear, very extremely linear, like from point A right to Z. Yes,
it stole Guardians of the Galaxy aesthetic. Guardians of the Galaxy is supposed to have weird aliens where you're like, that guy looks like broccoli. What's going on here? It's not supposed to be Ant-Man. This is the wrong genre. This is like, come on.
And then everyone made such a big deal of that one actor, black guy. I forget his name. He was on that show where he was
black
dead.
guy, that one black actor.
Yeah, that one black actor. Who's the guy that was the telepath in the movie? The guy was the telepath in the movie.
Oh, he plays Chidi on The Good Place.
Yeah. There was so much fan speculation around who he was going to be, and I was like, Turns out he was nobody.
He was nobody. Some people thought he was Mr. Fantastic. Matt says, "Hail Mantis, hail Steve, hail to the
What's
chat."
up, Matt? Welcome, man.
Welcome up. You came in at the right time. We were just talking about Ant-Man and the Quantumania, or whatever they want to call it.
Pooing on it, straight poo. Jonathan
He
Majors.
says Ant-Man was effing horrible. The whole Jonathan Majors is awesome as Kang is BS. His acting at times is embarrassing. The only person who was actually decent in the movie is probably Michelle Pfeiffer. Oh wow.
Whoa.
Okay, that I do like Kang's thing. It doesn't save the movie in any way. I
thought Jonathan Majors was amazing. You're drinking that haterade, but I agree with you on everything else, man. The movie, the 6.
RM says, what a waste of Chidi. I absolutely agree. Plus, the CGI on one character was terrible and laughable. They learned, just say it, everyone knows it. MODOK is so badly graphic.
So bad.
Someone had pointed out and slowed down the footage. And they say, look, MODOK is a human face that is literally not moving. It's a CGI face that's like, doesn't even flinch at times because that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
It was comically bad. You know, another thing is MODOK has nothing to do with Kang, so why even put him in this movie?
Here's the thing, man. People have been trying to convince me how cool of a character MODOK and Kang were in the comics. And I was like, I don't know. I just don't believe you. I don't think that they're really that cool. And don't give me that fucking league of like brainiacs and MCU because their arcs sucked as well, man.
So,
what?
If I was going to do an Iron Man trilogy, I was fine with the first Iron Man. As a matter of fact, I think it's one of the strongest superhero movies ever seen. I would do that. Second one, I would do Armored Wars, where every country makes their own fake Iron Man. So Iron Man has to go kick their ass and steal his tech back. I love that. And then in the third one, I would have done MODOK and Mandarin and the real Mandarin.
So here's the thing, right, man? I think the best representation, I stand by this, of MODOK I've ever seen, the only thing that's ever made me care about the character was when I played the Avengers game. Because then it was like they made AIM worth giving a damn. I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. This is cool.
And people have pointed out this. I saw someone, I'm stealing a thought of someone's tweet. I don't know who they were, but they were like saying, the easy way they did him in Quantumania removes the body horror aspects that George Tarleton goes through. So George Tarleton is the real one, and he's supposed to slowly transform into this giant-headed freak, and it's horrible for him, and he loses contact with his friends and his family, and he's grotesque, and would be a great movie, seeing that.
Yeah.
That slow transformation into a freak. Just having a giant-headed idiot that looks like bad CGI.
It was very Deadpool, right? The shot with his little butt hanging out, though hilarious, I was like, this is stupid.
Oh, man. And you know what it is? I will say this, Ant-Man, they stuck to their guns on this one. Yeah. They stuck to family-friendly adventure. Nothing is scandalous. Janet didn't bang Kang when she should have. No one's doing anything bad. Kathy gets arrested. The daughter gets arrested for protesting. She's not a real crime, protesting. Okay. And Kang's life is fine, even though he's a mutant freak.
Oh, you're talking about MODOK.
Yeah, MODOK should have had like a horrible psyche in life because of his mutation. Because he went through, and the fact that they skipped over that is just.
I will tell you one part of the movie I actually enjoyed, but because it was super cheesy with the quasi variants of Ant-Man when they all want to save his daughter. That was kind of cool. Like I was just like, all right, I could see. It was cheesy as all hell, but my son grabbed my hand and he was laughing. He was having such a good time. So that instantly became a great moment. When your child does something endearing.
Maybe they play tested that on little kids. You know what I mean?
They probably did.
The little kids in the audience are going to go crazy for this one. Lainey says there were too many slow moments. I was falling asleep. I feel you. Yes, I feel like I could have done they could have done a better job by surrounding my head with MODOK gear and put a green screen behind me.
Possibly. More than likely.
But
the alien that wanted the holes was probably one of the best parts of the movie, the best and worst part.
I do think it's funny when the alien is like, and you have 7 holes, and Ant-Man goes, Yeah, that checks out. I was because you were counting too, weren't you?
Yeah,
I was definitely counting because I don't know how many holes humans have in them. That was cute. That was cute. But in terms of like final battle, don't love it. I didn't like the resistance battle. I didn't like.
No, that was stupid.
I didn't like that there weren't any twists and turns.
None.
I also think that like Ant-Man. Here's another thing. A real character arc is watching characters having to make tough decisions. Ant-Man in the movie never had to make a tough decision. He's just kind of going through the phases of
everything worked out perfectly. Now, the closest they got to the type of tension you're describing is towards the end. When I was like, holy shit, did these two just get stranded here? I literally thought for a second, I was like, now that is a good way to remove a character from the board. But they didn't do it.
I thought he was going to be stranded, and then it wasn't going to come back till an Avengers movie, till like Kang Dynasty.
Yeah,
and he would be like, "I've mastered the quantum."
Here's what I kept inserting, right? So you remember
Cosmic Ant-Man.
You remember Secret Wars, the newer version, right? And so it's basically there's a point where the Illuminati's on the run from Captain America. Just amazing story. Go check it out. And at one point, to figure out what was going on and what was causing the incursions, they send Hank Pym into the universe, like he's just shrinking through the multiverse, and that's where you see all the celestial beings die, like Eternity, and you find out the Beyonders are killing everyone. I thought they were going to set it up somehow where Scott has to do something like that, but then I remember I was in an MCU movie and I was like, wait, why would they do that, and why would they set up anything that brought any tension to this thing at all? No, they're just going to end the movie, and that's just what they did. So now that this is out of the way, we can talk about properties I think are going to be good for Kang. I'm looking forward to Loki season 2. That's the only thing that has given me anything to make me think that like there's some stakes here. Something's happening.
I don't know, man. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like completely disenchanted with all of the MCU.
Listen, I don't know if I don't invest that much where it's like pull me to a place where what does anything mean? What does life mean? But
my life is fine. Whether I'm going to pay for a ticket again is a different thing.
You'll pay. They always pay.
Because like the other two Marvel movies coming out this year. Matt says, and what was up with that the Power Rangers looking biatch? She was useless. She looked so bad. That actress, the way they made her look, she was just weird. It was strange. It would have been better if he and Hope were stranded. Yes. It would have at least something would have happened, right? They would have actually gone with something. No, Kang is not gonna get. I agree. Like, I'm not sure if I'm feeling Loki 2. I think in Loki 2, what is the situation? They're hunting down the Kangs and they're trying to stop him from building his super chair, his time chair. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm feeling Loki 2. It doesn't. It looks like it's gonna be more of the same that we've already seen.
I'm gonna give it its fair shake, see how it goes, because I actually enjoyed the first season. I haven't seen or heard anything that makes me believe it's not going to be as good or at least as entertaining as the first season. So I'll give it its chance, man. I'll give it its chance.
So here's where I try to turn you away from Marvel. Okay, so the only two other movies coming out this year: Guardians of the Galaxy, which might be a home run,
right?
And the Marvels,
which got delayed again, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Let me ask you, what do you think the percent chance that the Marvels is going to be a banger is? Be real with me right now.
I do not have high hopes. We all know that Captain Marvel succeeded because it came right after Infinity War, so it gave us something to look forward to on one of the best cliffhangers that have ever happened in cinema.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Nothing has led me to believe that this is going to be great, right? But again, I'm going to go check it out. I'm going to see if in any way, shape, or form it advances the story, makes me care about this shit. I am looking forward to Guardians, the Swan Song. I want to see what stakes are going to be if they're going to introduce new Guardians. I want to see what their vision of Adam Warlock is, because it seems like they might have turned him into the Sentry. Like I'm watching.
Yeah, like every trailer they've given us so little of Adam Warlock, but he looks like a punk.
RM says
he was good in this movie, or as Kang, referring to Jonathan Majors as Matt. I've seen him in a lot of things. I actually really do like Jonathan Majors. RM says Mantis has cashed his DCU check. I see. I don't support them either, man.
Chill.
I'm gonna watch the end of the DCEU,
Mhm.
and then I'm also gonna hang up my DC boots.
So what? You're not going to watch anything coming from DC?
Not after the end of these, not after they finish DCEU. So I'm going to see Flash, I'm going to see Aquaman, and I'm going to see Shazam, and then after that, I'm done.
So wait, are you saying you're not going to cover any of the new projects at all? Like you're not even going to see it on an alternative streaming site?
Okay, I might do that. But I'm going to be grumpy about it. I'm going to be a real asshole. I'm going to say Superman, or like blowjob man. No, it's funny that ever since you told me I can't curse, I've been cursing more than usual.
No, it's not that you can't curse. I just noticed a trend lately with certain content creators where they're not cursing at the beginning of their videos because apparently that dips you in the algorithm. I'm
In
like,
the
hey,
beginning, yes, but remember we have that 5-minute overhaul. So
oh, good point.
so YouTube doesn't even know we're cursing right now.
Matt says Adam Warlock is disappointing to me so far. RM says I'm not paying for Flash.
Matt says Marvel is DOA. Guardians of the Galaxy is gonna be a banger. Adam Warlock is disappointing me so far. Not paying for Flash. Sheldon says rumor is Robert Pattinson is gonna be in that Penguin HBO Max series.
Yuck.
The Batman. Let's talk about this. Are we getting too old for this?
You know, that was something I pondered when I was watching my son enjoy it. I was like, maybe I'm just putting too much on this. It seems like everyone else in the theater had a great time, dude. Like 100% people were laughing, they were clapping, and I'm like, maybe I aged up or I aged out, or I'm just becoming a toxic nerd who expects these things to be what I want them to be.
Or were you in an audience that was filled with normies who don't know who or what Ant-Man is supposed to be?
Yeah. Look, I mean, well, there was one kid that was in the know for the MCU for sure. Like my son asked me when Guardians came out, and the kid turned around like, "It comes out in May." And I'm like, "Thanks a lot, bro."
That's horrible.
Yo,
RM says the people of Hawaii deserve our respect and support. What am I missing? What does it have to do with?
Not that Mantis is not insinuating in any way, shape, or form that we don't have love for Hawaiians, and positive vibes. If anything's going on,
I love those Hawaiians, man. They can lay me anytime. You see what I did there?
I see what you did.
Give me that lay. Too bad the Batman sucked. Exactly.
Agreed.
So I can't get happy about that. I'm currently in an I hate James Gunn phase. I will be god damned if I pay for anything James Gunn produces.
Wow. You really taking this far, huh?
Yeah, no, honestly, I really do hope. I really do wish a car accident on him.
A plague on all his
houses. No, not a fatal one. I just want him to lose his ability to walk. So
that's right, RM. I forgot that they had Ezra out there running around acting like a fool. They do deserve our thoughts and prayers.
If you go to Hawaii, you may not be safe if you're a woman. Matt Getz says, I've been curving my swearing as much as possible. I'm going to try to. It's hard. Penguin show, that's just idiotic. I'm too old for this. It's just bad writing. Ezra Miller and his rampage on the state of Hawaii. Steve, don't let your kid ever talk to that strange kid again.
He was sweet. Turned around. I was just like,
you should have looked at him and said, "You're a Marvel shill."
He was 11, man. He was living his best life, man.
I bet you Kevin Feige. He's on Kevin Feige's payroll. I bet that could be like, "She-Hulk was awesome."
So, in full transparency, man, I did not get a chance to watch the latest episode of Last of Us. I was going to watch it before the show, but I had my son with me. But I'm okay with you spoiling
But I
anything
put
and
it on
talking
the
about.
cover.
I know.
But you had the day off.
I'm a parent. I don't truly have the day off.
In the age of the computer, parenting is easy. You just give them a laptop and you go, have
No,
fun.
no, that's what you call bad parenting.
Go, have fun, Junior.
I'll see you in 12.
See you in 12. Daddy's smoking his cigarette and drinking his beer. So you didn't
Got to do
see
research for the show. So I know I didn't see the new episode, but seems like you enjoyed it a great deal, and a bunch of people really loved it.
You realize what happened, right?
No, what happened?
This episode turned me around on the entire series.
What? So it doesn't matter if I watched it or not. That's great to hear, man.
I've been a hater. Everyone knows I've been a hater. I liked episode 3. I'm not gonna lie. The other ones, I was just like, it's just Walking Dead. It's Walking Dead. It's just Walking Dead. Walking Dead did this. Walking Dead did this. Not necessarily better, but it's already done this. Nothing new happening. Getting bored.
Right.
It's people are watching like they're like, oh, him and Ellie are really becoming good, really bonding. I'm like, whatever, man. It's every zombie. It's just like, oh, whatever. This episode, it had me.
So wait, you didn't like last week's episode? You didn't think it was emotional and all that stuff?
You know what took away the emotion from that episode?
What?
I didn't like the monster. I think that's what they call them, bloaters.
Yeah, the bloater.
When the bloater comes out, it was so cheesy to me. It's so video game. A super zombie? They're like, we're on level 3. Now the super zombies are out.
No, it's the fungus, man. Do you not understand the science behind fungus? You get level 1 fungus, level 2 fungus, level 3. See, zombies, there's no levels, but fungus, infected people with fungus.
A lot of people were like, it's not a zombie. It's a fungus-infected carcass. I'm like, you're going to die a virgin, kid. Mantis is waking up every morning reading James Gunn's Twitter yelling, dishonor on you, dishonor on your family. Yes. Do you remember how when I was, I don't know if you guys knew, but like on Twitter for a while, when the first couple of months of Fire James Gunn hashtags came out, all I would tweet 5 times a day. And I'd find other ones and I just like them. I give support to my peoples. Last of Us episode 6 didn't have any clackers in it.
Clickers.
Clickers. But I'm reading his thing. It said clackers. I'm getting annoyed with this nonsense. They advertised The Walking Dead 2.0 and didn't do. However, I like all the emotional stuff in this episode. I actually like it. I turned around.
Mantis does have an oversized heart, and it's full of love.
Does have much love, but also equal amounts of hate. So don't cross me, bitches. I'm a fighter, not a lover. Sometimes I love. I'll fight you if you cross me. It's definitely less hated than The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The bloater is the boss fight. Exactly.
And they lost. They lost that fight.
Yeah. Mantis, you're insane. That zombie horde was great. Best part of the show. It depends what you're in there for. I don't mind the zombie horde, but suddenly like a super zombie comes out. Like what?
What is your hang up with super zombies?
I bet you that like eventually they're gonna get to a place and a super zombie's gonna be there and have wings. And can fly.
The winged zombie.
And that's gonna be that level's boss.
Man, I've noticed lately, man, you've been full of hate for everything except for like Star Trek. I'm sorry, Star Trek, that one specific Star Trek show you like. Yeah, it's the only thing you've said you've liked in quite some time, besides this episode of The Last of Us. So it turned you around. So now you're in better standings.
Never mind.
Are you gonna watch Picard?
Oh no, fuck that. That is garbage. It is insulting garbage. Just honoring them. Wait, come on, guys. Am I really that much of a hater?
Yeah, man, you're full of vile.
Surely I like something.
No, I don't think you said you liked anything since
Maybe the bloater used
used
to
to
be
be
the
the
liver.
Liver King. That is an upgrade. That's an upgrade. That's an upgrade right there.
Oh,
I'm
so
gonna
wait.
go ahead.
So I want to pitch an idea to you. And there's nothing in this episode, I'm not spoiling the episode for you, that would suggest this. Do you think that they're going to deviate from the video game story?
You've brought this up a couple of times in private conversations. I know a lot of people want them to. I know a lot of people want them to not carry out part 2 of the game for obvious reasons, but I won't spoil it for anyone that doesn't know. I don't think they will though. I'm getting the sense that they won't do it. I'm thinking they're going to let it rock and let it play through the entire way and add more context to it. We'll still get an entire season with the character you're talking about before they meet their demise, but I think they'll stretch it out to the very last episode.
There's a certain YouTuber who in their review of this episode had said that they're like, I got the advanced copies, I've seen up until the end, and they say I didn't care for the finale. I said, what? And then like, you'll see what I mean, but I don't like it when it comes to the end. And I'm thinking about the video again. I'm like, what is not to like about that?
The ending of part 1?
The ending of part 1, which makes me think, are they trying to be slick and they're like going to reverse it? Remember how people argued that they were like, we should be able to choose that.
Who should be able to choose it?
A lot of gamers were like, why don't I have a choice about what Joel does?
Right.
And in the final part, I should have a choice.
Oh, well, if you're talking about the conclusion of part 1, if they would have gave him a choice in that moment, I don't think he would have chose anything other than.
No, they should let the player choose. I agree with that. I think they should have let the player choose.
Oh, here you go.
But instead, they make him make a choice. You have to go with it.
Yeah, he followed the story, and then he did what he did, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but I'm okay with the way part 1 ended. I thought you were talking about the beginning point of part 2, which is nearly in the beginning of the game. Something happens that has caused a lot of contention in that community.
Oh, and 2?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, that's the most controversial thing ever in video games. I'd say, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a very
literally made a fan base walk away from the video game.
Well, not entire fan base, and
but a lot of people it gutted a lot of their fans.
Was it a lot of people? See, this is the thing. We don't have numbers on these things. I wish we had like an exit interview, like, "Hey, are you leaving because your mom told you can't play video games anymore?"
Right. But
are you genuinely that upset?
But however, 2 sold significantly less than 1.
Well, yeah. Most games sell less than the first one, except for God of War. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think even God of War 2 might have sold less, but that's a trend. But it wasn't for that. You got to think about when that game was released too.
Mantis, F that noise. This isn't the day of our. This isn't the Days of Our Lives Apocalypse Edition. It's The Last of Us. I want gameplay in live action. So he wants zombies, is what he's saying. He wants zombies killing explosions. He wants bloaters. He wants flyers. Eventually he wants the final board to be in outer space. Like they go to a space station. Remember how they're talking about the moon?
Yeah.
To the moon and they're fighting zombies up there.
Little side convo here. Would anyone watch a show based on Dead Space? We got any Dead Space fans up in here? Would you watch a show that was based on Dead Space? I am a Dead Space
fan. I don't know if I'd watch a show because the point of Dead Space is about being alone on a drifting ship, right? So, like,
right.
How do you make a show out of that?
Well, no, he's got supporting characters throughout,
right?
Throughout most of the game and even the end. But I was just a little side thing there. Yeah, I'm gonna check out episode 6. I want to see what about it turned you around on this. I've been enjoying the show thus far. There's nothing that's happened that I'm like yuck, and I just want to like turn the channel off. It's not the same reaction I had to trying to watch The Woman King last night. Oh, finally got to watch the first.
I've seen it.
No, first 30 minutes, and I was like, I'm out. I literally dipped out.
What was it that made you turn it off?
It was a series of things. I think it's a beautifully shot movie. It has all the things that people described about it. But while I'm watching it, I just can't get past the historical inaccuracies like this. And this was a thing where I was just like, okay, I'm out. Like no revisionist history. You're adding stuff in. No one knows if these people had this level of dialogue. All we have is the facts about the Dahomey tribe and the Facts are in.
Remember, this is why people get all so bent out of shape when something isn't exactly the way it is history. Nothing ever is. When you tell the story of a hero, it's never accurate.
Right, but here's the problem with that, right? This story is completely changing a subject. I'm not completely. It's changing this tribe's history and this subject matter, right?
I know, but like for instance, like they'll say things like, for instance, William Wallace, like he was a butcherer and a scumbag, and he killed kids in war, but they make him all heroic because that's a better movie, right?
No. This is different. Because the narrative they tried to push is that the Dahomey tribe, they were unwilling participants, or they were participating in the transatlantic slave trade, but they were looking for a way to get out. There's no evidence that they were looking for a way to get out. There's much evidence they were like, how can we increase the amount of slaving that we're doing? There was no moral conundrum. There's no factual proof of that, right? You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I watched 30 minutes. I was like, I love Viola Davis. Some of the fight scenes were pretty cool, but otherwise than that, I was like, I'm good. I dipped out. I was like, yep, peace.
Arm says, did they play the game? That you saying the reviewer did not play the game?
No.
In question. Yeah, if they get rid of that character, I'd be annoyed. Poor Laura Bailey got death threats for voicing a character in part 2. That's hard.
Not cool. I take a hard stance against people harassing people of the portrayal of characters on the internet. Losers, absolute losers. Who the hell does that?
Here's what I say. I think death threats and intimidation is completely wrong. However, I feel childish pranks are a fair game.
No, so what do you? But I don't qualify a prank. No, not against someone for playing a character, right? Well, let me see what you qualify as a prank.
Here's what I'm saying. So you take a steak, right?
Okay.
Take a little thin tray, take a steak, unwrap it, break some eggs over it,
right?
And then you break into someone's house, right? In this case, it's James Gunn. You go over to their air vent and you slide it in deep down in there, and you leave it, and you lock back up, and you leave. And so it starts to rot and starts to smell, but they can't find it because it's in the air vent.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like you should suffer any legal ramifications for breaking into someone's home and putting food in their air vent to let it go rancid?
I'm above the law, and I'm doing this for people.
Is this a part of your freedom of speech, Val? Like, this is your right to harass?
Wait, hold on. Didn't we both agree we believe in freedom of speech? But people are not free from the consequences of speech.
But this is not freedom of speech. There's nothing in the Bill of Rights that says, and in Article 14B, break into an actor's home.
Like, for instance, if someone were to say racial slangs to you, you would knock them out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's like, I fire Superman. I prank him, and he has to smell a rotting corpse all night.
I don't think those are the same. I don't think
those are the same. It's fair. It's the same. Fair. It's fair. Get
You sound like the ultimate. You sound like the Giga Karen right now.
Fair. RM says, look, people want to see their Dora Milaje. Yeah. What are the things they changed? Because I didn't research any of this before watching. So basically, in the movie, how they show like how they're like being forced to being slaves because they have to pay a tax to like another tribe. In truth, they were willing participants of the slave trade. They had no intention of leaving it, and they enjoyed raiding other villages and doing that.
Yeah, all of that, everything you just said.
I don't think it would work as a show, maybe a movie.
Oh, talking about Dead Space. Okay, copy.
Right. I'd give it to Viola Davis, except for when she cries. Too much snot. She still does the snot crying. She's the queen of snot crying.
RM says, please don't stalk James Gunn. Yeah, the stuff he's admitted to already right now. So tell me more. Okay, so harassment. I'm sorry. Pranks are fair.
I'm joking, of course. I would never stalk him. I would never put energy into that fool. I think he's going to hurt himself. I think he's going to shoot himself in the foot.
That's 100% true.
And I do think that his pedophilic ways will come to light.
What was it? What did you say? Was that? I don't think that was the accusation. I think he said some lewd things, right? But there's no evidence that he's.
Oh no, he made pedophilic jokes on
Ah,
Twitter. Yeah.
so
Yeah. So I think he
So-
might be a secret.
I see you're getting your Alex Jones on tonight.
I'm not. I didn't agree. This is facts, man. This is facts. Here's what I'm saying. I honestly do think he's going to create his new slate of DC, and I think it's going to blow up in his face, and it's going to be bad.
Do you think Pedro Pascal is going to stick to The Last of Us if they do change things up? And should he? And did anyone else notice that Logan is basically The Last of Us with Wolverine and Laura Kinney? I looked at the poster the other day and I'm like, holy shit. That's all this
And Mandalorian is too. They're all the same damn story. Has anyone noticed this, that Hollywood has been recycling the same story over and over and over and over again?
Dude,
At least Logan didn't insult us and made it just a film.
Yeah. I would pay money to see a Romancing the Cosmos movie. Like, if you would sell out so quick, they're like, hey, Mantis, here's the 26 million, signing, give you 100 million, to complete and the movie budget, but you just got to change a few things.
Oh no. So I think this is actually funny because a lot of people love the Umbrella Academy. I'm a huge fan of the comic. I am so disgusted at all the changes they made. I'm enraged. I would not let them change my fist.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, wouldn't sell out.
Yeah.
I'd sell another thing. They're like gay for pay? Down.
Let's do this.
Change my story now. I don't know. I don't want to be like a total Nazi and not let them like change, whatever they want, whatever they need for the thing. But however, I think some changes are just too drastic.
Well, see, that's the thing I'm enjoying about The Last of Us, right? Is that the things that they're changing, the creator of the source material is heavily involved. And I'm okay with that when the guy from the source material says, hey, these are some things I wanted to flesh out a little bit more, right? But I couldn't do it in the game. I get that. I just think that at this point, no one can deny this is the best media we've had on any video game property ever. Before this, it was the friggin' Sonic movies, right? Like Sonic was the best video game property. Huh?
Don't play it off like you don't love Sonic movies.
I love the Sonic movies, man. I love the Sonic movie. I love the first one. And that was actually a good example of them listening to the fans and it working out for them, right? They were like, please don't put that horrible looking version of Sonic out as the main Sonic, dude. And they changed it. But I gotta say, Last of Us is holding it down. Ratings are strong, There are a lot of people who didn't want to cover it. Wink, wink. Not you. I'm talking about bigger YouTube content creators who'd say, the show is going to drag in numbers, but it's a good show, man. I hate to say it. It's a good show.
Arm says, yes, I noticed while watching Logan. Laugh out loud.
Yes.
Matt says, is James Gunn a lizard person? He totally is. Here, I think he's a different thing, actually. I do think that there is a secret cult in Hollywood of pedos, and I think he's part of it. I think he's a member.
Holy smokes! You're really not letting go of that one.
I'm not. No. Like he's the devil.
Did you hear about the Karl Malone controversy? Comes back every year. Someone brings this up, but folks, go look up Karl Malone and just type Karl Malone controversy.
Karl Malone.
Karl Malone, a former player for the Utah Jazz in the NBA, has some pretty horrible stuff in his past. Go look it up. But he is apparently cannot be canceled because he will be judging the dunk contest at the All-Star game. And they announced it and all the stuff came up. But we can't talk about it here. But I dare you type Karl Malone controversy and you'll see what I'm talking about. Puts James Gunn to shame.
RM says The Last of Us and The Walking Dead game season 1 came out around the same time. I'm so sad we're never going to see Lee and Clementine's story. That's also a story of a man having to take care of a little girl. And we're probably the reason why they got asked out because they're black.
Oh,
right?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I just wanted to nod my head.
You know the Telltale games or whatever? Where it's almost like choose your own adventure games.
Yeah.
They did a Walking Dead game and it came out the same year as The Last of Us. and it's about a black Southern man, and he finds a little black girl, and he's like, and he has to take care of her. So it's a very similar. There's a
Literally.
lot of this same energy. These tough
Someone get
guys.
Black Lives on the line right now. We got to fix this grievous injustice. You know what? Remember that movie? Not Stallone. Schwarzenegger came out. Maggie, where he's a dad, and his.
I actually like that zombie movie.
I have not seen that movie, man. Is it good?
It's very good.
I'm gonna check it out.
I think because it's different. Because
I heard
it's
that
totally
about
different. Look, you know the premise, right?
Yeah, and daughter's infected. He's keeping her alive. Yeah. Yes.
Matt says, "Yeah, Mantis, they effed up the Umbrella Academy. It's not even recognized. It's totally unrecognizable. Other than the fact that when they were children, they wore school suits. Like that's like the only thing that's like kind of the thing. They changed everything from powers to of course, they're changing genders and races, and characters don't look or act like themselves. It's total nonsense.
I will say this: the race swap they did in this show and on The Last of Us, I was surprised to see that even Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers was like, I thought it was unnecessary, but the actress was amazing. Not that he would disparage her in public or anything like that, but I gotta say, race swapping his daughter didn't make sense to me. But the little girl who they did race swap her with, she's a great actress, man.
She was great. She was wonderful for the short time we had her.
Yeah.
RM says Sonic 2 slapped.
Yeah, I heard Idris is amazing. His Knuckles in there.
Yeah. I didn't see 2. I saw 1, but I loved 1. You didn't take your kids to Sonic 2?
No. We I think that shit came out during COVID, so we watched it at home, or they watched it at home.
RM says Detective Pikachu was another great
movie. Yes, that was another great game movie. That was really good, man. Ryan Reynolds did his thing in that. I enjoyed it. Can you let me use the bathroom one more time? Had way too much coffee.
Go nuts. So let's talk shit about this guy while he's away. The problem with Hold Up is he's funny looking and he doesn't rep. He certainly doesn't rep as hard as me. It's kind of a pussy if you think about it. And he's a Marvel shill. He gave Ant-Man a 6 out of 10. That's ridiculous. It's totally freaking ridiculous. Yeah, Nico Parker was awesome. Hope to see her in other things soon. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that, I don't know, for some reason didn't take off. You'd think that, Detective Pikachu was so good, you'd think there would be more sequels to it, right? It doesn't make any sense why we're not seeing more of it. What other things in pop culture are you guys interested in talking about? I'm really interested in what's tickling your fancy right now, because we're in a series where there's not a lot of content coming out right now. The reason why everyone's talking about Quantumania is not because it's good, because no one has anything else to talk about. What else is out there?
I need to go search the internet. Don't you worry, Matt. The dreads are coming. They are expensive though. I need to search the internet and see what positive reviews there are out there. I watched Screen Rant's. He does really great Easter egg breakdowns and theory crafting. But I can't remember if he said he enjoyed the video, enjoyed Ant-Man or not. I have to go see if anyone is actually.
Your boy Campy is there?
I didn't look, honestly. I didn't look.
I'm surprised, man.
I didn't want to watch any. I didn't want to watch any reviews or anything like that. I just wanted to go in and form my own opinion. But yeah, we'll see. The Mandalorian is coming. Any thoughts on Mandalorian? Oh God, the hatred is real.
No, I love the Mandalorian so much. It's such a joy. It's been too long. Remember the last time we did a review on it? We talked about it on Fanboy. Forever. Yeah. It was like a couple Christmases ago. Crazy.
Yeah.
Finally back. Watching that trailer, watching the Mandalorian saga unfold. Amazing. Remember when Boba Fett sucked? The only good parts were when Mando came in.
Yeah. First 3 episodes of Boba were great, and then that one episode where they gave us the Mandalorian episode 0. That was amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
I love it. There's all these rumors about Kathleen Kennedy is at war with Jon Favreau. I don't know if it's true or whatever, but
really, I hadn't heard any of that. And I thought I thought she was out. I know that was a rumor in itself, but I thought she was out, dude.
Yeah, that's all rumor. There's no like official statement of where she's going or what's happening.
Right.
But supposedly she's she's having a secret war with Favreau. I don't know. This could be just something. People create stories. People create
Yeah.
drama.
And you know why they create that drama? Because in most instances, what's going on isn't enough to keep us all entertained and just to talk about the actual content, right? So then you got to spend your time making up rumors, reading fucking anonymous posts on 4chan and friggin' what is this, Reddit and stuff like that, bro. But here's the real truth, man. In regards to the Star Wars property, I believe it's still on its last leg, and the last great story they're going to tell may be Mandalorian. I'm hoping this game is going to be dope when it comes out, Jedi Survivor. And I have not watched the new season of The Bad Batch, but I haven't heard you talk about it, so I don't know if it's good or not. Usually, that's how I gauge stuff. I go around and see what people are saying.
I don't
Can't
mess
see
with
that
the
anyone's talking
Bad
about it.
Batch. I do not mess with the Bad Batch. Matt says, I think Mando season 3 is the last of Pedro. I predict he dies. I'm gonna give you a strong, I think, negative.
Oh, really? Okay.
I do not think that's going to happen at all. I think he's going to stay in there, and if there is some sort of secret issue where he had like his helmet on or off, he's going to at least do voiceovers. Think about it this way: that is the easiest pay job you possibly have. A popular series, the most beloved thing on TV, and you get to be the voice of it.
Yeah.
While you can do other acting gigs with your showing your face, I can't imagine why someone would let that die. I know Grace Randolph had said season 3 is the end of it. However, Jon Favreau on a red carpet, they said, "What's going on with Mandalorian?" And he said, "We're writing season 4 as we speak."
See,
so that already proves her nonsense.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what, man? It'll be nice just to cover it again and have conversations about Mandalorian. The trailer looks like it slaps, man. I just want to circle back to Marvel, man, because I talked about the Disney property, so I should be fair in my assessment of Marvel. I think it's time to wrap it. I really do, man. I think it's time to wrap it. You live past the point of being a hero and you become a villain. And I just think it's time to wrap it.
They're certainly becoming the villain. They're pissing more and more people off. So you think MCU should just call it a day?
Yeah, man. I really do think it's just time to wrap the story, man. Like, it's like, where are we going with this? Like, so if they do Secret Wars, man, I mean, they are going to do Secret Wars. Give us that reboot and then call it a day, man. Call it a day, because right now the more I think about it, there's nothing that's really attaching me to it other than I'm a fan and I just want to see where they're going with it. There aren't any big stars in it that are really holding my interest. I do want to see Anthony Mackie's full portrayal of Falcon, Captain America, even though I think it's DOA. I want to see Armor Wars, even though I think that's probably going to be DOA as well. I want to see what they're going to do with Namor or Namor in the MCU, but I think that's DOA as well. And I know they'll pull us all back in as soon as they introduce the X-Men, but I think it's time to wrap it, man. Either that, or maybe there should be some validity to the rumor of Kevin Feige stepping to the side. Maybe it's time to bring someone else in that's willing to guide the ship towards.
I think you're right. Maybe they should end it on a huge climactic battle and then reboot and then start from scratch. And this time they can have the Fan 4 and X-Men start at the same place as the Avengers and do it differently.
Yeah,
maybe they
absolutely.
do Hawkeye correctly. Maybe they could do all the things they effed up in this version. They could fix. They could take criticism and work with that. I'll be totally into that, because I think here's what it is. I have superhero fatigue, but it's not what you think. I have superhero fatigue because DC and Marvel keep fucking up, not because I don't like superheroes. I'll watch a good superhero movie. I'll watch our show until the cows come home. I can't wait to see the next season of Boys. I can't wait to see the next season of Invincible. However, all this other stuff that they have, there isn't a Marvel show I can't wait. I can honestly wait for any other series to come out. Here's what it is. In Star Wars, I can't wait. I cannot wait for Mandalorian to come back.
Right.
In Marvel, I can certainly wait for everything they have planned. I don't need to see Ironheart. I don't know what Agatha Harkness has why she has a show. I don't want to see any more of She-Hulk. I don't know what they're doing over there.
And I'm starting to lose interest in Daredevil, right? Because it's really just going to boil down to like, what are they going to do that's going to be different? You know,
Supposedly they're gonna make it more family friendly and less brutal. Like,
now, don't forget, we're supposed to have a Blade movie, and I think that's where my point of contention is. You know, but I know it's coming, and I hope it slaps. But at the same time, it's like,
man, I'm sorry. I love you. I love you immensely. Do you not see it yet?
see what?
There's not gonna be a Blade movie. They have fucked that movie over so many times. They're like, they're like, we're delaying. We're new director, new writer, new script, blah 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 blah. We are gonna be dead in the grave by the time they show it, or it's never coming.
It's coming.
Matt says, according to Doomcock, Kathleen Kennedy is out any day now. Well, we'll see if that happens. Mantis Picard, season 3, episode 1 was pretty good. It was just set up though. I really do hate Picard. Because the last 2 seasons have been so horrible. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Bad Batch is not the best. Pass unless you cover it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Blade Dennis? What is it? Oh, Blake is. I see. It's a typo. Blade is DOA, which
that saddens me too, man. That saddens me.
But here's the thing I have to say, but also is this not show incompetence on their front? Because I wouldn't you say, isn't it pretty easy to do a Blade movie?
I would say it'd be extremely easy. I would have thought it would be easy to do
up.
Yeah, no, I think it's easy to do it. Is it, easy to make it a great movie? That's what I want to see. And with Mahershala Ali in it, I was like, this is probably going to be a really well acted movie. But man, I just don't understand how we're getting Agatha before Blade.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Why are we getting Agatha? Why are we getting Echo?
Yeah.
Who asked for this? This
nobody.
We want.
And what does this have to do with the multiverse saga?
I would love to meet someone who's like, I can't. They're like, I always wanted Echo. I can't wait for an Echo show. Who is this person?
They call him Cheetos Man, and he lives in the deepest part of the cave.
Yeah, it's Echoes, it's Agatha. There's a bunch of other nonsense coming out that I'm like, supposedly Dora Milaje. I would have normally taken it. Would have certainly loved to see that. Because they fucked up every other show, like I'm like, I don't know if I want to see it now.
Oh man, that was another thing I was struggling with when I watched Wakanda Forever. I felt like the fight scenes in the first one, some of them were campy, but they were way better than what we got in part 2. And that at first, that bridge scene when it's Okoye versus Homeboy from Namor's team, that was dope when I saw it in the movie theater. I rewatched it and I was like, this is kind of silly.
It was silly. It was contrived. It was totally contrived. And so here's what I don't understand. There's all these makes no sense, and I'm glad you're coming around on this because all the things you're saying are why I didn't like it initially. If Namor's like, I need you to go kill this girl, I will have peace with you if you kill this girl or this person who is detecting the vibranium. The reason why he asked that is his troops can't go into the city or in America to get her, right?
Right.
So then why, at the end of getting her, does his troops show up and attack them? If they could do that, why didn't they just go kill her themselves?
Didn't make any sense. But remember, they had just shot down a drone, the one drone America has, apparently. The one piece of surveillance.
Yeah, there's a bunch of holes in Wakanda Forever, and I'm like, I'm saying it wasn't as quality a film as the first one, and that's the thing. I put Black Panther 1 in such high regard,
right,
that I can't believe this was a sequel. I understand they were in a shit situation without their actor, but
Angela Bassett was definitely the highlight of the movie, for sure, man. She was still amazing. That was the one thing that stood out for me. Before we wrap, right, there's one thing I need to ask you, and this is in regards to this Ant-Man movie. Do we need another Ant-Man movie, or should this like go the way of the old dusty? Please don't. So
we should throw bad money after bad money. Is that what you're saying?
Like, don't make any more of these movies, man. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, in fact, if I stepped into their office, I'd be like, cancel Agatha, cancel Echo. We're just gonna streamline this thing, man. Like,
So here's the word. Actually, it's interesting because you probably have seen this online. People talk about Ant-Man 4, right?
yeah.
And the way this came about is that Peyton Reed, the director of Ant-Man, originally wanted the second Ant-Man to not be about Scott Lang, but to be a prequel about Hank Pym.
Right.
And Kevin Feige said, finish your trilogy, and if your trilogy's good, we'll do a prequel.
No, it made money. That's the problem. It's making money too, man.
Here's what I'm saying. I wouldn't mind seeing a real Hank Pym movie in the 60s. That might be fun. If they CGI him down in age.
It's not going to be fun, man, because you know what? It's not going to be connected to anything, and I just don't have any more time to waste on this shit.
I might like a non-connected. I think one of the problems is they keep trying to connect things.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is poor writing. The problem is poor story mapping. I never have a problem with a connected universe. It's how it's written and how it's portrayed. In my opinion, you are allowed to have yours for sure, but it's just to the place where it's like there's no. It feels like there's no direction. Like, I don't know what any of this has to do with the multiverse saga, right? I felt like there were things that missed opportunities in the multiverse of madness, and it wasn't including Tom Cruise in the movie. They were just missed opportunities that would have set up a better story. I would have much rather seen Kang fight, have an all-out, drag-out science versus magic war with Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Than, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would have made me see him as a looming threat. And remember, we talked about this in episodes of Fanboy. I'm like, how great to prove that he's an amazing character if he takes out two of the strongest magic wielders in this movie, shows up, suns both of them.
Actually, you know what would have been great and make him a true threat, and I feel you on this. It's true, Ant-Man's not the most powerful, but he should have at least beaten Ant-Man. Look,
Yeah.
Ant-Man's third tier.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be great if he had beaten him? In the third, and killed him.
That's where I thought the movie was going. I was like, yes, take it there. Take me to the darkness.
I certainly thought it was possible, but the ending was so cheesy. I was like, and I got another question for you.
Yo.
Why was it so important that they keep him trapped there?
So I don't feel like I can answer that question without breaking it down, like spoiling it.
Okay. Because I was saying, I feel it's there. I don't think they explain it super well. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, in terms of like.
Well, here's one thing I gotta ask you, man. Right? So Immortus from the Loki show, why didn't they send him there? Because he accomplished the thing that they're. You understand? Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Forget this guy. What about that dude over there? The one
exactly.
that he made the sacred timeline. And this is where it goes off the rails, unless they're going to tie this shit in together. So you're telling me Immortus created the sacred timeline. So what the fuck are we doing here, right? Like,
no, basically the idea is that, like, because they killed Immortus in Loki, that's why all this craziness is happening. All these other Kangs can exist.
I know, man, but then never mind.
The sacred timeline world, there's only one, and it's Immortus.
Okay, so then compare that against what the Ancient said in Endgame. The Ancient should not be aware the timelines could branch.
I absolutely agree with you. There's so much wonkiness in the time travel or their understanding of it. It's all over the place.
Oh man, what do you got going this week, man? I know that I'm going to be streaming again tomorrow. I'm going to get a Conversations That Matters cracking here on YouTube. Probably do some panel work on the stream service that will not be named. Start talking about some controversial shit. Maybe I'll bring you up on the Discord and we'll talk about the shit that we can't talk about.
Wait, you're doing conversations?
Yeah, doing conversations.
On what?
On YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. That sounds freaking amazing. I love it.
I'm gonna broadcast to that other app though.
Oh. Well, then I can't be a part of it, but. I'll listen to it on YouTube.
We'll see what happens. What do you got going this week?
I definitely have a Rogue Planet going on Wednesday. What exactly it's going to be about? No idea, but the fates will decide. Got a couple of YouTube videos coming out, and hopefully I'm going to be back on doing shorts by this weekend.
Yes, get your short game on.
You know, getting a new computer is traumatic.
Right.
You got to
start playing Hogwarts?
I'm not even ready for that.
Not ready for Hogwarts?
I only just put up the computer. I'm not even signed in. Yo, when we started this, I didn't even have my Discord up.
Man, it's giving real beta energy. You're not welcome into the PC master race.
Your mother
would have had our computer set up well before you did.
one step at a time. But no, I will be streaming. I will be doing all sorts of fun things.
Right.
Fun things are happening. I'm just not explaining what they are until the last minute. So you guys can't quote me on this.
Good to know. Good to know.
So tomorrow, Conversations That Matter. The day after that, we got Rogue Planet. Thursday, we got Dex and you doing
Pillow Talk.
All right. Yes. There we go. This is going to be
an
amazing week.
Laid out. Let's get the hell out of here, man. I'm about to go.
Cancel it. It all leans into the supernatural characters and do Midnight Suns movie. I feel you, man.
That would be good. Another wasted opportunity. Midnight Suns game. Completely pointless. Didn't play it. Didn't have anything to do with it, but go ahead.
But yo, guys, I've had a ton of fun. Thank you for stopping in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and keep tuning in to Fight Juice Online. And remember, keep checking out the Fanboy Modeling School every Monday. We keep it real. We hopefully news will pick up. We'll have even more fresh takes to talk about. But we are happening because you are happening. Thank you so much. That man.
Keep shooting down those weather balloons. What?
Death